We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Tuesday, April 29th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're tuning into News Generation. Joining us today is Im Sang-hyuk.
Happy Monday, you guys.
It's not Monday, it's Tuesday actually.
Oh, sorry, it's Tuesday.
Happy
Yes, my bad.
And Niall Song.
I guess that's good news. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. That both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So we're going to begin this morning with our keyword news. Our keyword for this Tuesday is SK Telecom. Now, South Korea's largest mobile carrier is facing major backlash after a recent personal information leak. Earlier this month, SK Telecom announced that it had been the target of a hacking attack compromising the personal data of some of its customers. Now, although the company has yet to reveal the full extent of the breach or identify who was behind the cyber attack, it has issued a public apology and offered free USIM chip replacements to affected customers at around its carrier stores nationwide. Now, yesterday marked the first day of the free replacement program, and the local media captured long lines forming outside many of these stores. So, Niall, could you please tell us more in detail why these customers are so concerned and just how serious this situation has become?
Yeah, this is causing unauthorized phone activations and serious financial theft, including a case where 50 million Korean won was stolen. And customers are obviously panicking because of leaked SIM data, and it can allow criminals to bypass SMS security, clone phones, and steal digital assets. And while Korea does use OTPs and other digital certificates, it does offer a little bit of protection, but experts still urge people to change their SIMs to activate SIM protection services and prevent further damage.
And to prevent further damage, in response to the public outcry, SK Telecom has vowed to take full responsibility for the incident. So, Sang-hyuk, tell us more about what measures the company is planning on for its customers.
Sure. So I'm also one of the victims who used the SK Telecom USIM chip. So I've been closely monitoring how the company has been responding. So firstly, SK Telecom is offering free USIM replacements for approximately 23 million subscribers at over 2,600 retail stores nationwide. However, some customers are facing difficulties due to shortages in USIM stock. Also, the long line in front of retail stores discourages customers from actually waiting for the long line to get their USIM replaced. So if you're a person who's afraid to wait for hours just like me, you can get USIM protection service to prevent USIM cloning and malicious access. So this service blocks unauthorized device changes, roaming use, and abnormal authentication attempts, and approximately 5 million users have now applied for this protection.
Right, so if you are a SK Telecom user and you want to find out more information, you could either visit its official website and hope this problem is resolved very soon. And that was our keyword news for this Tuesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Tuesday is when we zoom into some of the most buzzing issues on Korea's cultural front. Take a look at the screen to find out more. A star-studded parade of artists is set to perform in Korea this year, sending concert-goers into a frenzy. But with ticket demand far outweighing supply, a growing headache is resurfacing: ticket scalping. So from K-pop icons like G-Dragon and Blackpink to international stars like Coldplay and Oasis, a flood of global stars is gracing the stages in Korea this year. So I want to start off by asking our panelists, have you ever tried to score these tickets, or how far have you gone to really secure a spot at a show that you couldn't really miss?
Well, actually getting hold of these tickets is as difficult as getting USIM chip replaced.
So what an analogy.
It is really challenging. So I try to purchase tickets whenever famous pop stars visit Korea, but always fail to get the tickets. So I missed the Post Malone concert, Lady Gaga concert, and this year's Coldplay concert as well. But there was one time when I managed to get Naona concert for my parents. And by the way, Naona is a legendary singer in Korea. He's not that famous among the MZers, but he's like a legend for our parents' generation. So at the time, me and my brother mobilized 4 devices to get 2 tickets for mom and dad. We even set the timer so that we can access the purchase page immediately once the clock hits the time. And in fact, there are MZers like me who try to get tickets for their parents. It's called Hyodo ticketing or ticketing for parents as a gift. So scoring the tickets of all-day singers is as challenging as buying a ticket to K-pop idol concerts.
It is indeed. And Niall, I think you actually have experience regarding ticketing, and you brought something to the studio, right?
I did. This is
Wow.
my token to show you guys that I succeeded in not just purchasing the tickets, but to get the merch to attend the...
Which is also hard to buy, right?
You know what? People are scalping merches as
Really?
well. Yeah, so sometimes it's marked up, 10, 20 times more than the original price. And so I've actually done everything that Sang Hyuk mentioned, like having the devices ready, the timers, and everything on standby. And I did not realize how intense it was going to be. And I succeeded in getting the G-Dragon concert. But there were 30,000 people behind me.
30,000.
And this is just the first day because I am actually a part of the paid membership, and that means you get your separate day to purchase the tickets. But even that, the competition was fierce. I couldn't even get the floor seats. And then I also tried again on the regular day where if you're not part of the membership, you can just, I guess, try to get the tickets. And there were 150,000 people behind me.
150,000?
Yes, and I couldn't even see the tickets. And like many other people who try for cancellation tickets, they stay up all night trying to refresh the pages to see if there's any, better seats. And in the end, I couldn't find any, so I just had to go with the first seat that I found, which I'm so thankful for.
Yeah, you were indeed the lucky one.
I was.
Wow, so what a competition.
Oh, for sure.
So when demand explodes, so do problems. So naturally, we're seeing scalping, that is, reselling tickets at inflated prices, become a much bigger ongoing issue here in Korea. So Sang-Hyuk, how serious would you say the issue of scalping has gotten lately here in Korea?
Well, I think the problem arises because there are just so many people who want to go to concerts or theater to show the performance. To see the performance and similar events, but there are just limited available seats. So competition is especially fierce because many fans hope to attend every performance. And as a result, those who fail to secure tickets are willing to pay a premium, even resorting to purchasing scalp tickets. And recently, VIP tickets for G-Dragon's concert, which was originally priced at 220,000 Korean won, which is around 150 US dollars, were resold for 3 million Korean won or 2,000 US dollars. You can see the big spike there. And in the same week, tickets for pianist Im Yoon-chan's charity concert appeared on the resale market at more than 20 times their original price. So this trend isn't limited to concerts. It also applies to fan meetings and sporting events. So here on the screen, you can see that in 2023, there were 2,161 reports of scalping. And considering unreported cases, the actual number of transactions is likely to be much higher.
Right, and I think that the scalping is definitely on the rise because I remember back in 2020 or a few years ago, the number of reported scalping cases were in the hundreds range, but now, as you mentioned, it's now in the thousands. And talking about G-Dragon's concert, Niall, I heard that there were some measures being implemented to prevent scalping, right?
I mean, there was a huge controversy because the ticketing for G-Dragon's concert here in Korea was done through Coupang Play, which was never done before. So a lot of people were upset. They didn't know how to navigate the platform. And this was actually done to ensure that people would use their personal accounts with their name in it, and this name would match with the tickets, and so it would be easier, and you couldn't have multiple devices open all at the same time to get the tickets. And so did this prevent a lot of scalping? Unfortunately, not too much. I can't say I can compare from before and after the usage of the system, but they did check the IDs, they would check the people's names on the platform as well as the tickets and the IDs in person. So there was definitely an effort, but I still did see a lot of secondhand platforms like Tangen selling tickets all the way up to 2 million Korean won. So yeah, I guess not as expensive as Sang Hyuk mentioned, but it was still pretty pricey, and I guess some people still buy them.
Maybe they are. So I want to now ask you, how do you personally feel about scalping? Because you can either sympathize with these desperate fans, or do you think that it's actually feeding the problem even more?
Well, I'm definitely against scalping because it's clearly illegal. However, that doesn't mean that I am unable to understand the desperation that drives people to do so. So when someone has waited months or even years to see their favorite artist or athlete perform live, actually missing out on a ticket can feel devastating.
Right.
And the emotional investment, the anticipation, and the once-in-a-lifetime nature of some events can push fans to take risks they otherwise wouldn't have.
Because especially for international artists, you don't really know when they'll perform
Right.
in Korea once again.
Yeah, so I just hope that Avril Lavigne once again visits Korea.
Fingers crossed. Now, what are your thoughts on this issue, Niall?
While I do sympathize with the desperation as well, true fans stay up all night trying to get cancellation tickets
Exactly.
through the proper platform, and paying scalpers 10 times more or however much the original price, it only encourages it, and it's truly a disgrace to the artist and the other fans, and frankly to yourself and your own integrity. And if you're a true fan, please do not buy from these people who are trying to take advantage of the genuine love for the artists that people have.
Right, and I think that the reason why we are seeing scalping continue is because there is continuing demand for scalp tickets, which is why we are seeing more scalpers. So for more opinions, we also asked our viewers through a poll on our Arirang뉴스 YouTube channel with the question, would you ever consider buying a ticket at a marked up price? So if we look at the poll results, 70% answered no, while 30% said yes. We're also going to share 3 comments. Our first comment for today is by Cappuccino126. I don't want to support scalpers. I'd rather wait for another chance or find official tickets. Benny D97 says, I like to pay more because it's okay to buy a chance to go to my favorite concert or musical. Crispy Tomato says, no, it just doesn't feel right to me. My favorite artist won't be happy about it either. So we can see that a majority of our viewers are against marked up tickets, which is, in other words, for scalping. So after the break, we'll hear from a young concert goer on her take on this ticket scalping culture. Stay tuned.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang.News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
For our live interview today, we're pleased to welcome Nguyen Yok Phuong Nguyen, a Gen Z from Vietnam living in Seoul. Welcome to the show, Nguyen.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So we'd first like to ask you, we heard that you are a passionate concert goer. So how far would you say have you gone to buy a ticket for a must-see concert of your favorite artist?
So actually, I have a quiet story about that. So the concert I went to was for a 17 concert, and that concert sells ticket online. So on the first day of the sales, I asked my friend, both in Korea and in my home country, to help me buy tickets. And actually, we all tried really hard, but unfortunately, at that time, I couldn't get one ticket. So after that, I decided not to give up. I kept my laptop on 24/7 for an entire week, constantly just queuing and refreshing the ticketing site to look for canceled tickets. And trust me, it was honestly a very stressful week. So, but in the end, I managed to grab a ticket. Yeah, and you know what? Just one day before the concert, and it was such a relief. And I think finally my laptop was able to rest, and yeah, it's made the whole my experience feel even more special and meaningful to me.
Okay, Vian, as someone who's always obsessed to get a ticket, I thought I was like the master of scoring tickets, but wow, you're way better than me. Putting up the laptop 24/7, maybe next time I should do that as
Maybe
well.
you should.
Yeah, so my next question is scalping a major concern among the fan communities you're part of? And where do you personally stand on the issue?
Well, for me, I think scalping happens a lot in every fan community I have been part of. Like especially for tickets for a big show, usually sold out in just a few minutes, and right after that, you start seeing them being resold at a crazy price, like three, five, or even 10 times higher. And I think it's really unfair, especially for some fans that are student or younger fans who don't have a stable income yet. And like for me, I personally think it's take away the whole spirit of concert. And I really believe concert should be for people who truly love the artist, not for making a profit. And even though the organizers have tried to prevent scalping, like they limiting the number of tickets you can buy or using verification system, but I think it's still not completely solved yet. Yeah, and so a lot of real fans still miss out, and that's honestly really disappointing.
Lastly, in your view, what kind of impact does scalping have on both the artists as well as the fans?
Um, Well, in my opinion, I think scalping has a really big impact on both sides. So for fans, they may have to pay a very high price and still face the risk of not being able to attend the event at all, which can greatly diminish their overall experience and their excitement for the artist. And as for the artist, having empty seats at a concert due to scalping can affect not only the energies and atmosphere of the show, but also their public image as well. So a venue filled with real fans definitely brings a much better and greater energy to the performance. And that's why I believe that it's so important to find ways to deal with scalping in order to maintain and strengthen the connection between the artists and their fans.
Absolutely. All right, man. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day.
You too. So we're now going to look at the legal side of this issue of scalping. So Sangyo, starting with Korea, is scalping illegal here, and how are authorities really trying to tackle this problem?
Well, first of all, transferring tickets vary depending on the organizer's policies. So in the case of K-pop idol concerts, agencies typically prohibit the ticket transfers altogether. In South Korea, the Public Performance Act was amended in March of last year to ban the use of macros for scalping tickets. And violations are punishable by up to 1 year of imprisonment or with a fine of up to 7,000 US dollars. However, the effectiveness of the law has been questioned as penalties cannot be imposed unless the use of macros is proven. So as a result, further amendments to strengthen the regulations are currently being pursued.
Right, so to provide a bit more detail, the Culture Ministry is actually pursuing another amendment to really prohibit the overpricing of ticket resales, regardless of whether or not these macro programs are used. So this is the measures that Korea is taking. Then what about in other countries now?
So yes, in Japan, reselling these tickets at a price higher than the original is classified as illegal and it's scalping. And I think they have a system where you don't actually have to compete, but you rather just sign up and you either get it or you don't. It's a system that's kind of fair to everyone, and I think that's it's a fair system for everyone. And in Taiwan, any sale above the face value or the original price is considered scalping and is also punishable, regardless of whether the resale is completed or not. And I think that's kind of an important factor. The attempt of scalping is also punishable. In the United States, obviously, it's different depending on the state, but the use of computer programs like macro to purchase and resell tickets is strictly prohibited. And other countries like Korea, many apply even stricter penalties than the recently revised laws here in Korea. But I think the issue is the practical and controllable part of it. Like, Sang-hyuk mentioned, not a lot of proof can be found with the use of macro, so I think that's the issue.
Definitely. So expanding on what Sang-hyuk and Niall said, despite crackdowns and stricter rules, ticket scalping still seems hard to really root out. We're seeing them plague not only concerts, but sporting events, musicals, and so much more. So ending off our discussion today, if you could suggest a real-world solution, what measures do you think will work or help in at least minimizing these scalping cases?
Well, one way to do that is to adopt a real name system, which means means it requires buyers to register tickets under their legal names and show matching ID upon entry. This system is already used for many K-pop concerts and can make unauthorized resale much harder. And we can also restrict the number of tickets a person can buy, for example, setting the cap to maximum 2 to 4 tickets per person to prevent bulk buying by scalpers. And also, the entertainment companies should consider providing the premium VIP tickets only to the fan club members. They should prioritize early ticket access to verified fan club members or loyal customers. And this can reduce the chances for scalpers to get the tickets they want.
I see. Then, Niall, I want to ask your take on how to battle this widespread scalping culture.
I do want to agree with Sang-hyuk on the VIP seats being reserved for true fans. And this also goes with our interview today as well. True fans being at the front seat, it will be good for the fans and the artists. And I guess adding on to everything else, for one thing, the scalping websites and platforms really need to be banned constantly because they always come up with new ways and new websites to sell their tickets, and it has to be monitored. And in the end, it's about manpower, even at the concert when people are handing off their bracelets and tickets. I think there just needs to be more people to watch out for that. And during the ticket purchase, when the ticket is delivered, and upon entry as well, we need to monitor it kind of like immigration at the airport.
Well, another good analogy. And if you have any good ideas on ways to tackle scalping, please leave a comment below on today's episode. And that's all we have for today, but Newsden will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Im Sang-hyuk.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and Niall Song.
No problem.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for tuning in, and we'll be waiting for you here, same time tomorrow morning. We are
News
Generation.